What's up, everybody? Today I finally decided to do a bookshelf tour of all of my Goosebumps and Fear Street and various other R.L. Stine books. I have many other books besides Goosebumps and Fear Street. Eventually, I might do another bookshelf tour, but a lot of my books are just in boxes right now, and I don't have them on display. So for now, I'm just doing a tour of all of my R.L. Stine books. Those are probably the ones you guys want to see anyway. So yeah, let's just kind of go over these real quick. I have two bookshelves here, one with my Goosebumps on, one with my Fear Street and Point Horror stuff on. So we're gonna start with the Goosebumps bookshelf right over here. So up top here, I have this box set Goosebumps book 17 through 20. And this was brand new. It still had some plastic wrapped around it. It wasn't completely sealed. It was like somebody started to open it but didn't finish. And my mom actually found this for me at a garage sale, and it was only like $1. So yeah, this is really cool. I just kind of have this sitting on the top here for display. And then also on display, I have the two Goosebumps postcard books. And these are kind of rare. The first one, not so much, but the second one, this is actually kind of rare and valuable. And I don't remember. I think this first one I actually found out in the wild at a used bookstore. The second one, I think I just saw pop up online somewhere for really cheap. So yeah, I just have those sitting up there for display. All right, so starting on the top shelf here, I have all of my most wanted books, all of my Goosebumps Horrorland back here. I have the Goosebumps Haunted Library up here on display. I don't know if I'm happy with the way things are organized right now. Eventually, when I get bored, I'll probably tear this shelf apart and reorder them because they're not really in chronological order by the series or anything. I mean, the series are all together, but I feel like I should have like the first series up here and then go down from like the oldest to the newest. I don't know why I have it like this right now, but yeah, it is the way it is for right now. So we have all of my most wanted books right here. Up here in the corner, we have just some miscellaneous ones. So we have Screams in the Night. We have the two movie novels. Let me see. This might be kind of a rough video, guys, so I apologize. Might be a little bit shaky here. I've got both of the movie novels. I have the collector's caps books. One of them, there's two of them that I need to get. And then I also have this skinny version of Say Cheese and Die Again, which I do not remember what the origins of this book is for this skinny version, if it was like a promotional item or something. I don't really know, but that's kind of a rare book, so I have that. Let me move these out of the way real quick. Okay, so behind those, we just have some 2003 reprints here. And eventually I might get all the 2003 reprints. But some of these are ones that I've had since I was a kid. Like this copy of Werewolf of Fever Swamp here. I remember going to the bookstore when I was a kid, and my mom let me pick out a couple of Goosebumps books. And this is one of the ones I picked, along with How to Kill a Monster. So these two here are ones that I've had since I was a kid, and they were two of my first Goosebumps books ever. So yeah, I have a lot of sentimental value for those. These other ones are just ones that I've acquired over time to stay out of the basement with the Tim Jacobus cover art. And then up here, I just have some other miscellaneous ones. I have Cry the Cat with the vinyl still in it. I'm not going to like open all of these up because that's too much work trying to hold the camera and do that. So yeah, I have my original copy of Egg Monsters from Mars where I ripped out the last page because that twist ending is just so horrendous. So yeah, this is forever staying in my collection. And if I ever like have kids one day, I'll give them this book and be like, here, this is the book right here. Because it ends perfectly, makes complete sense with that last page ripped out. We don't need that twist ending in Egg Monsters from Mars. So yeah. I have Be Careful What You Wish For with the first edition with the tattoo in it. Copy of Werewolf Skin with the mask still inside of it. I actually have a couple copies of this one with the mask still inside of it. And then the Haunted Mask, the original first edition with the mask inside that one. Then we have some of the classic reprints. I don't have all of them. I have most of them. I still need to get a few. All right, and then moving over here, we have all of the Horrorland books, the complete set. And then the 6 Hall of Horrors books. It's a shame that series was only 6 books long because that's amazing. By far and away the best modern series in Goosebumps. All right, and then we will move on down to the next shelf. All right, on my second shelf down here, we have the complete set of Slappy World books. Let me just move these out of the way really quick. And then behind those, I have the entire set of Give Yourself Goosebumps. I'm not going to pull every single one of these out. But yeah, I have every single Give Yourself Goosebumps book. And most of them are in really good condition. I'm pretty happy with this set. There's a couple that need to be replaced. Where is it? This one here, I've been looking for a replacement copy of Alone in Snakebite Canyon. I know it doesn't look terrible at first glance, but it does have some pretty bad edge wear. There's a couple tears on the back. The binding's pretty weak. I would like a replacement for that one eventually. What is it? Night of 1,000 Claws? I would like a replacement for this one too. It's not terrible, but it does have somebody who like wrote their initials on the top of the pages, the page edges there or whatever. And that kind of annoys me a little bit. I would like to find a new one of that eventually. But most of them are in pretty good shape. I'm pretty happy with this set that I have. Then I have my triple header books, and then the Tales that give you Goosebumps down here. These need some replacements too. Some of these really need to be replaced. My Tales copy of book number 6, this one is in pretty rough shape. Book number 2 is a little bit rough too. I mean, not terrible, but it's got some edge wear. The only one that's in like really good condition, like brand new, is this first one, honestly. So yeah, I would like to replace some of those Tales books eventually. And then I do want to show you guys back over here. I do have this hardcover copy of the very first GYG, Escape from the Carnival of Horrors. I found this out in the wild at a used bookstore. I think it was only like $2 or $3 or something. And this is just an absolutely gorgeous hardcover. I am just super proud to have this in my collection. This book is just gorgeous. Normally hardcover Goosebumps books are like ex-library copies because they never like officially released hardcovers like for public sale. So most of them are like ex-library copies. This one, I don't know what this is, or maybe it was printed as a library book, but it never actually ended up being used because there's no library stamps on it or anything. But the borders on it are just so clean. It just, man, this is just such a nice book. I love having this one. So yeah, I have a hardcover of the very first Give Yourself Goosebumps book. And that is that shelf. All right, and then moving down to the third shelf, we have all of my Series 2000 books, and most of these are in pretty good shape. My copy of Creature Teacher here has like a crunched up like spine at the top. I don't know what that's from. That really annoys me, but it is a school market edition, so it's somewhat rare. Eventually, I would like to find a cleaner copy, but yeah, most of them are in pretty good shape. I can't complain too much. And then I'm not going to pull all of them out, but behind those is the complete original series of the Goosebumps books, all 62. And I'm very, very happy with this set. There's a few that could probably be replaced if I were to find like really, really mint copies. But most of these are like brand new. I'm super, super happy with this set that I have. I've been collecting these over the last few years. I've found copies out in the wild. I've bought complete sets. And most of these are in like new condition. Like some of these books are just completely flawless, like never even been read before. I'm just going to pull this one out to kind of show you guys as an example of how clean these are. There is a sticker back here on the barcode, but that doesn't really matter. There's like no edges or no like edge wear or anything. And look at how tight the binding on these books are. Like they're like brand new, never been read. A lot of them are first editions, not all of them. Let me see what this one is. Oh, yep, this one's a first edition. So yeah, a lot of them are first editions on top of that. The spines on these are just so very clean. So yeah, very, very happy with this set of OG 62 books that I have. Most of the books are just like that one I showed you. They're literally like brand new, never been read. So yeah, some of them still have the inserts too. Let me just pull one out quick to show you guys. Here's a copy of Monster Blood 4. Again, very clean. There's a slight bit of edge wear there on the spine, not too bad. And still has the trading cards in it. So yeah, super stoked. I could not be happier with Original 62 set. Some of those other ones that I showed you guys, like my tails, a few of the GYGs could be replaced, but for the most part, I'm fine with this set that I have here. Okay, moving on down to the next shelf, we have my Beware the Art of Goosebumps books, and I absolutely love this thing. This thing just has such an amazing cover, such a cool book. It sucks that it's out of print already, and it's now like extremely rare. But yeah, love that. I have the 4 Goosebumps hardcover books here, The Living Dummy, the Campfire one, 30 Tales, Monster Blood Collection. I've got Slappy Beware. This is a really nice hardcover. I like the aesthetic of this book a lot. The cover is pretty sweet. I've got the 3 Garbage Pail books, Welcome to Smellville. What is this one called? Thrills and Chills, Camp Days. I have 1 Rotten School book. Eventually I need to get the rest of those, but yeah, there's that one. I have both of the Stine Tinglers books. I have all 8 of the Mostly Ghostly books. I have 1 of the Monster Edition books. This one is number 3. I can't remember if it's 3 or if there's 4 of these. But yeah, I need to get the other ones. But I found this one out in the wild somewhat recently, and it's in pretty good shape. It still has the thing attached where it's supposed to like make a noise and scream when you open it up. It doesn't work, unfortunately, but it's still there. So yeah, I found that. I have 2 copies of R.L. Stine's biography. I have this first edition hardcover with the cool holographic cover on it. It's an ex-library book, but hey, I'm not complaining. I found this at a library sale for literally like $1, I think. So yeah. And then I also have the newer reprinted version that also has like some bonus material. I think there's like a couple extra chapters in it or something that's not in the original one. So yeah, I have those. Let me see. I have just here, let me move my camera a little bit. Just have some other miscellaneous R.L. Stine books down here. Young Scrooge. It's the First Day of School Forever. I have the Beast books. I absolutely love the first Beast. This is one of my favorite non-Goosebumps and Fear Street books that R.L. Stine has written. This is just a really fun book. I absolutely love this, and I've ridden on the Beast roller coaster myself, so I think that's part of why I like it so much too. It just kind of brings those memories back when I'm reading about the kids riding on the roller coaster. Yeah, this is just a really good book. Then I have some of his old school Choose Your Own Adventure books, part of the Twist a Plot series. We have Horrors of the Haunted Museum, Golden Sword of Dragon Walk, The Time Raider, and I've got some other like old joke books that he wrote back in the 80s. How to Be Funny, Space Cadets, Everything You Need to Survive, Brothers and Sisters. This is actually a pretty funny book. I read this not long ago. Let's see. We have this promotional Scholastic book called The Time We Ran Away. And this is just a collection of short stories, and R.L. Stine has one in it called Don't Open the Monster Blood. Let's see. Then I have, of course, his 6 novellas, The Creatures from Beyond, Three Faces of Me, Adventures of Shrink Man. Then I have some more miscellaneous R.L. Stine books down here. The Invaders of Hark. This is like an old school Choose Your Own Adventure like game book. I started reading it. I think I got like 1 or 2 endings. It was kind of fun, but yeah. Let's see. The Cool Kids Guide to Summer Camp. Let's see here. Instant Millionaire. Another Twist of Plot 1. Let's see. The Bananas Book of Photo Funnies. So yeah, just a bunch of like obscure old jovial Bob Stine books. There's still a lot more that I need to get of those. I have just a very small fraction of what actually exists out there. But yeah, my goal is to eventually collect everything R.L. Stine wrote, even all of these old joke books, super obscure joke books that weren't printed a ton back in like the 80s and stuff. So yeah, I've got a decent start, but I've got a long ways to go. All right, and then on the bottom shelf here, I have a few more R.L. Stine books. I've got Why Did the Monster Cross the Road? This is a newer one. It's like a kid's picture joke book that he did a collaboration with Mark Brown, who is the creator of Arthur. And then I also have Mary McScary, which is another kid's picture book he did with Mark Brown. There's one more that I need to get. I believe it's called Little Shop of Monsters. So yeah, they've done a few collaborations. And I actually kind of like those books. They're just kind of cute, funny kids books. And then I have this old jovial Bob Stine book called Miami Mice, which is another like children's picture book. And I actually
read this and really enjoyed it. Like, this was actually really funny. If I ever have kids one day, I would definitely read this to them. So yeah, that's cool. I enjoy having that in my collection. And then the rest of the books down here are all of my Goosebumps knockoffs. So we have one Fright Time book, a few Graveyard School books, the Wileys and Grandpa's Creature features. These books are actually awesome. I don't ever see these get talked about at all, but I really enjoy these. And these aren't even books that I read as a kid or anything that I have nostalgia for. I just enjoy them now as an adult. I have the complete set except for one book. I'm missing number 9. But yeah, they're just really funny, like comedy books, I guess, with like elements of horror to them, sort of. They are like heavily illustrated. They're quick, easy reads, but they're like surprisingly witty. They're not like too childish or anything. There's just a lot of good jokes in them. Yeah, I really enjoy these Wiley's and Grandpa's Creature features, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody else talk about these books. So yeah, just trying to bring more attention to those, I guess. And they're just funny books. Dracula versus Grandpa, Monster Fish Frenzy, Bigfoot Backpacking Bonanza. I just really like those. I have a couple Shivers books. I have Pool Ghoul and Weirdo Waldo's Wax Museum. I've got a few Dead Time stories, Bone Chillers, including the last 2, which are extremely rare. Killer Clowns of Kings County and Romeo and Juliet. This one I got online for super cheap. It was mixed in a lot on eBay, and nobody else realized it. It was just mixed in a lot with like a bunch of random Goosebumps books, and I think I got it for like $30 or something. So yeah, this book, when it is posted online for sale, it's usually people are asking like hundreds of dollars for it. And then I also have the last book in the series, Romeo and Juliet. I was lucky enough to find this out at a used bookstore. When I saw this sitting on the shelf, I was like doing everything to keep my composure and not lose my mind, because the owner or the person running the store was kind of like watching me. Like, there was nobody else in the store, so they were just kind of walking around and like, yeah. So I was like trying not to freak out when I found this. So yeah, I've got those 2 really rare Bone Chiller books. I'm very happy to have those. And then I've got quite a few of the Spine Tinglers, and then some of the American and Michigan Chillers. Let me move this a little bit. These are the ones that I've still had from my childhood. I used to have a lot more of them, but I ended up getting rid of them. I decided to keep these ones just because, I guess. I don't know. And then I don't know why I have these down here. They don't really fit. I just put them here for now, I guess. But I have Tales from the Crypt Volume 1 and Volume 5. These are like just adaptations of the original comics in short story form is really all they are. And they're pretty much the same thing as like the original comics. They just randomly chose stories from the comic books and just adapted them into short stories. So yeah, I need to get volumes 2 through 4 now. I have 1 and 5. So yeah. And then over here on my Fear Street shelf, first up, I have a few things on display on top of the shelf here. So I have this Goosebumps wallet sitting on top. This is like my only piece of real Goosebumps merch, vintage merch, I guess you could say. This old shrunken head key ring. This is really cool. I think I bought this on like Facebook Marketplace or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I have that. And then I have this up here. Move the camera to show you guys. This is my little buddy up here. It's an old, oh my God, what are these things called? Beanie Babies. An old Beanie Baby. His name is Sheets. He's just my little ghost buddy. He just likes to hang out on top of my bookshelves and scare away any unwanted visitors. So yeah, he just likes to hang it up there as my little buddy. So yeah, I have those on display on top of the shelf. And then moving down to the actual books here, we have the entire set of the Nightmare Room series. Some of these do need to be replaced. This one makes me so mad. I got this from Thrift Books. They call me Creature. They sent me, the first copy they sent me looked just like this with the corner just completely missing and torn off. So I emailed them, said I need a replacement. And this is the one they sent me. This was the replacement. The same exact book as the first one, basically. So yeah, that kind of pisses me off. But it is what it is. Most of these are in pretty good shape. I have all of the Nightmare Room books. I absolutely love this series too. This was such a great series. It's a shame it only lasted 15 books. Then we have
all of the Ghost of Fear Street except for one. Let me move my camera a little bit closer here. Oops, bear with me, guys. So yeah, I have all of the Ghost of Fear Street books. Most of them are in pretty good condition. There's a few that are a little bit rough, but not too bad. And when I was younger, I remember when I started reading this series and thinking something was off. The writing seemed really weird. I'm like, this is R.L. Stine wrote these? And I remember checking the copyright page. And sure enough, they're ghostwritten. It's not exactly a secret. On the copyright page, it will tell you the name of the author of that particular book. And many different authors contributed to this series. I believe R.L. Stine probably provided the authors with notes or outlines, or at the very least, titles to go off of. But now revisiting the series as an adult, I'm still kind of enjoying reading through some of them, even though it's not R.L. Stine writing them. Yeah, I'm still reading through all of these, and I plan to do a ranking eventually. And then the one book that I'm missing is Horror Hotel Part 1, which is really rare. I do have number 2, but it's in pretty rough shape. There's some edge wear, some pretty rough edge wear up top there. And then it's got this corner missing, the back cover. And then I also do have this one bind up, which has 3 Ghost of Fear Street books in one. This is Creepy Collection 1, Happy Hauntings. It has Who's Been Sleeping in My Grave, Stay Away from the Treehouse, and Fright Night in it. So yeah, I would like to get the rest of these bind ups too, because I really like the cover arts on these. These are really sweet. I like the design and the covers of these bind ups more than the actual Ghost of Fear Street books themselves. So yeah, there's those. All right, and then moving down a shelf, we have all of my original series Fear Street books, and then a few of the others as well. I'm not going to pull all of these out because that's way too much work. But behind these, I have the first, I don't know, the first books in the original Fear Street series, and most of them are in pretty good shape too. Then I have the last few in the original series over here, Into the Dark, The Best Friend 2, and then Trapped. This is the last book in the original Fear Street series, book number 51. I kind of wish they were numbered, make things a little bit easier, but it's whatever, I guess. This is actually a really good book, too. I really like Trapped. One of my favorite Fear Street so far. Then we have the 4 books part of the, what is this called? The New Fear Street series, I think. Yeah, the New Fear Streets, Stepbrother, Camp Out, Scream Jennifer Scream, The Bad Girl. Then we have all of the Super Chillers, Party Summer, all the way up to, what's the last one? This one, Cheerleaders, The Evil Lives. Then I've got the trilogies. I've got all 3 Cheerleaders books, Fear Street Saga, The House of Evil, The Cataluna Chronicles, and then Fear Park. So yeah, I'm not going to pull all these out because that would take way too much time, and it's too difficult trying to move the camera around while I'm doing this. So yeah, even though I have my camera on a stand here, it's still kind of a pain trying to do this. So yeah, I'm not going to pull out every single book, guys. Sorry. All right, and then on my next shelf down here, I will move these real quick since it's a small stack. I have all of the Fear Street Sagas books, minus one that I'm missing, and it's really rare. So the book that I'm missing is number 14, One Last Kiss. And that book is extremely rare and hard to find. Anytime I see it online, it's going for $100 or more. Eventually, I'm hoping I'll find a copy for cheap. I can't justify paying over $100 for a single book. But if I don't ever end up finding a copy, I'm probably just going to have to end up buying it. So yeah. But I do have all of these other really rare ones as well. The very last book in the series, The Hand of Power, which is just as rare. I did pay up a little bit for that one, but not too bad. The Door of Death, I was super lucky to get this one for really cheap. Faces of Terror, this one is kind of rare too. So yeah, I have all of the Fear Street sagas except for book 14. Then I have all of the Fear Street Seniors books except for the last one, Graduation Day, which is also really, really rare and expensive. Eventually, I will probably just have to end up buying that online because I don't think I'm ever going to find that book out in the wild. But I don't know. I did find a couple of these at used bookstores over the last couple of years, so you never know. And I have these ones in plastic covers or plastic sleeves, because they have these like cutout covers with the step back art. And I put them in these sleeves to just kind of protect them because they can get messed up really easily. You can see there already is a little bit of damage on some of these. And there has been a couple of occasions where I went to like take them off the shelf and put them back in, and like the corners of the books will get caught on these portions where like the cover is cut out. So yeah, I've just got them in plastic sleeves to kind of protect them a little bit. And then moving over here, we have, I have the Goodnight, oh, I forgot these. I've got the 3 Fear Street Nights books. And then I have a bind up of Goodnight Kiss, which has Goodnight Kiss 1 and 2, part of the original Fear Street series in it. And then it also has a bonus short story in here called The Vampire Club. And it's actually a really good short story. It's probably one of my favorite R.L. Stine short stories ever, if I'm being honest. It's really good. It's got this cool kind of step back art as well. So yeah. And then over here we have a couple of miscellaneous YA R.L. Stine books, Broken Date, Curtains, and then we have the point horror ones in order. And I have all of his point horror books. Thankfully, none of those are real rare, hard to find or anything. And then I have the rest of them right up here. So yeah, all of the R.L. Stine point horror books. And then moving down a shelf, we have some other miscellaneous R.L. Stine books, kind of as adult horror books, I guess. So I have this one called Scream and Scream Again, which is an anthology. R.L. Stine edited. I think he has just one story in it, and then the rest are by other authors. Then I have his 2 adult novels. I have Red Rain, Superstitious, both really nice hardcover copies. Have not read those yet. I'll get around to it eventually. I've heard they're not very good, but I don't know. We'll see. I have The Nightmare Hour. I absolutely love these covers. Just gorgeous. These books even have better looking illustrations in them too, which is really cool. And then The Haunting Hour. Absolutely adore that cover. Just beautiful. Then I have this book, which I think is like I don't know if this is a young adult or more adult novel, A Midsummer Night's Scream. It's kind of a smaller hardcover. I have that one. I wasn't really sure where to put these. I just kind of put them over here for now. I might move them. But I have the 4 Just Beyond graphic novels that he released. These are somewhat newer. They came out like 2017 or something. I don't know, a few years ago. Then I have the Fear Street relaunch titles, all 6 books. I have them in the paperback bind-up copies. They were originally released as individual hardcovers, but I just have these paperback bind-ups, which have 2 books in each one. And I've enjoyed these for the most part. This was probably my favorite one here. This one is called Fear Street Super Thriller Nightmares. It has The Dead Boyfriend and Give Me a Kill in it. Both of those stories were pretty good. I enjoyed those. Then I have The Return to Fear Street. There's 3 of those. You May Now Kill the Bride, The Wrong Girl, and Drop Dead Gorgeous. I actually just recently acquired this one. And it took me forever to find this book, a new copy of it, because most of the new releases of this one have like a big Netflix advertisement here, advertising the Netflix movies, and I did not want that one. And it took me forever to find a copy of this book without that, but I'm super happy that I now have it. We also have Beware. This is another anthology that R.L. Stine edited. It's basically a collection of some of R.L. Stine's like favorite short stories, and then it has a few stories in here by R.L. Stine himself, and I really, really like this book. This is an awesome book. Most of the stories in there are pretty good. I have a paperback bind-up called Horror Hour, which has Nightmare and Haunting Hour in it. Then I also have a paperback copy of his book, Superstitious. And then moving down to the last shelf, the lighting is kind of bad down here, and I just kind of have to hold my phone by hand, so it might be a little bit shaky. Down here I have some other point horror books that are non-R.L. Stine. We've got April Fools by Richie Cusick, D.E. Askins, Mirror Mirror. This is actually my favorite point horror book right here, Mother's Helper by A. Bates. I really like that one. I've got a couple Christopher Pike books, Road to Nowhere and Witch. I kind of like reading his books once in a while. I've never been a huge Christopher Pike fan, but yeah, I have a couple of those. And then I do have this book here, 13, part of the Point Horror series, and it does have a short story in it by R.L. Stine. I have not yet read that. Then over here I have all of my Lois Duncan books. I absolutely loved Lois Duncan when I was younger. I think I read most of these. And this was actually the author that got me into like young adult thriller and horror and stuff. This book here, Ransom, I actually got this exact copy
Is part of like my prize, I guess, for like a summer reading program I was in when I was a kid at my local library. So yeah, this book I have a lot of like sentimental value for. And I just remember thinking how crazy and how dark this book was when I read it at the time when I was like probably 12 years old or whatever. And these books are really dark from what I remember. I really want to revisit these and read through this series. Or it's not really a series, but I want to read through all of Lois Duncan's books again. I plan on doing that at some point because yeah, she's like the original writer of like young adult like thriller, suspense, thriller, horror, that kind of thing. And honestly, her books are probably any better than anything R.L. Stine has written in the Fear Street series. As much as I hate to admit that, it's probably true. And then I just have a few other random books over here. I've got Night Terrors, which is an anthology edited by Lois Duncan. The Face on the Milk Carton by Caroline B. Cooney. And then Night Cries by Barbara Steiner. This book has a really cool cover. Yeah, it's just like a random YA horror book, I guess. I've read it. It's actually not that good. I just like the cover. Okay, so I almost forgot a few things right as I was about to finish this video. I just actually moved recently, and so I didn't unpack all of my boxes yet, and there were a few R.L. Stine books that I missed, and I don't have shelved yet, so I'll just show those off real quick. Not a lot, but just a few small old Jovial Bob Stine books, and then some comics that I forgot about. So, I have a few of his old joke books here. I got to figure out where I'm going to put these yet, but this is 101 Creepy Creatures jokes. We have, let's see here, 101 Wacky Kid jokes. Another copy of 101 Creepy Creature jokes with a different cover art. I think I like the cover on this one a lot more, actually. Here, let me show them side by side. Yeah, I like the one on the right a lot more. Definitely some cooler looking monsters. The one on the left is just kind of basic looking. And then my last Jovial Bob Stine joke book is 101 Vacation Jokes. I thought I had more than that, but maybe it was just those ones. There's definitely a few that I'm missing yet. He did several joke books, so yeah, there's still a few I need to get. And then, let me see here. I have all of my Stuff of Nightmare comics, so I don't think these are in order, but I'll kind of go through the different covers real quick. So this is issue 2. This was a 4-issue comic that he released last year, and I already have pre-ordered the new one. This is issue 2 as well with a different cover variant. This is the first issue, I believe, with like a Fear Street style cover. Very, very cool. First issue. Also first issue. First issue with the Jacobus cover art. And this one is supposed to be glow in the dark, I think. At least that's what it was advertised as, but I tried it and it literally does not work at all. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, but yeah. I have a glow in the dark cover that doesn't glow. Here's issue 4. A different variant of issue 4. This is one of my favorite ones here. I think this is issue 3, or maybe this is issue 4. I don't remember. But it's supposed to be like the old Castlevania Super Nintendo cover. Very cool looking. Another variant of issue 4. Keep in mind, too, I don't even have close to all of these. There's so many different cover variants, it's ridiculous. Here's issue 3. I really like this one. It's kind of basic, but I kind of like the sketch art style. And his, like, the red glowing eyes up there, I think are really neat looking. So, yeah. Issue 3. I can't remember what this one is. I want to say this is issue 2. I could be wrong, though. I can't remember what this cover is paying homage to. Some, like, old movie poster or something, I think, or old book cover. Is it the Island of Lost Souls, maybe? Or, like, the Island of Dr. Moreau or something? I don't remember. Some old, like, classic movie or horror movie. I don't remember. Another variant of issue 3. This is one of my favorites, too. This is a black and white limited edition variant. I believe this one is number 2. And I just love the black and white. Goes really well with this like cover art. I think it looks really cool. Let's see, here's another one of issue 2. And then I can't remember what this one is.
But yeah, there's this one too. And this one is obviously paying homage to the old EC horror comic covers, Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. And then I've got a couple more here. I have the paperback bind up, which has all 4 issues in one volume. And then my 2 crown jewels of my Stuff and Nightmares collection, we have this limited edition of issue 2, which is probably my favorite cover out of all of them, to be honest. I just absolutely adore this. This one was a little bit more expensive. As you can see, I have it in a top loader to protect it. And then I have this one here, which is a limited edition of the first issue. And this is a 1 in 50 ratio variant, I think. So when this first came out, brand new from comic shops, it was like $50. I didn't pay that much for it. I ended up getting mine on eBay for quite a bit cheaper. But yeah, this is like a somewhat rare one, limited. And this is definitely one of my favorite covers too. I really like this. You can see he's just like holding his intestines down here in his hand. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's cool. And yeah, that is about everything, I think, unless I stumble across some more R.L. Stine books that I forgot about that are in boxes somewhere. Of course, I'm always going to be adding to this collection. There's the new Goosebumps series coming out very, very soon here. So I'll be getting that first House of Shivers book. And the new Stuff of Nightmares volume comes out very soon as well. So I will be continually adding to my R.L. Stine collection. And maybe a few years from now or so, I'll do an updated bookshelf tour. But yeah, I think that's about everything, guys. Yeah, guys, that's about it for today. So thank you for watching. See you next time.